The wind howled like a betrayed lover as Ethan slammed the farmhouse door behind him, the icy blast ripping through his thin flannel shirt like 1,000 accusing fingers. "You're no son of mine," his father's voice echoed from inside, raw and final, the words freezing harder in Ethan's chest than the sub-zero air clawing at his skin. He stumbled into the white abyss of the Nebraska plains, the blizzard swallowing his cries before they could form, knowing one wrong step meant vanishing forever into the storm's merciless embrace. Ethan's boots crunched through knee-deep snow, each step a numb betrayal of the life he'd known for 24 years. The Harper family farm had been his anchor, cornfields stretching golden in summer, the scent of fresh hay in the barn where he'd hidden his first tentative kiss with a high school buddy under the rafters. But tonight, under the flickering fluorescent kitchen light, everything shattered. It started with a phone call from his sister Lila, her voice trembling as she spilled the secret she'd overheard from his laptop browser history. "Ethan's. He's one of those," she'd whispered to their parents, the word gay landing like a grenade in the devout Catholic household. His mother, Clara, had clutched her rosary, tears carving paths down her weathered cheeks, while his father, Harlan, a man built like the John Deere tractors he repaired, turned purple with rage. "This ain't God's plan," Harlan bellowed, slamming his fist on the oak table scarred from decades of family meals. Ethan had walked in mid-explosion, the air thick with judgment. He tried to explain, the quiet ache of loving boys in a town where football and farming defined manhood, the stolen glances at the county fair, the way his heart raced for Jamie from the feed store, a secret he'd buried deeper than the winter wheat. But explanations crumbled like frost under Harlan's glare. "Pack your things and get out," his father growled, voice low and lethal. "We don't harbor sin here." Lila hovered in the doorway, her eyes pleading, but she said nothing, her silence a cut deeper than words. Ethan grabbed his duffel. Jeans, a few tees, his grandfather's old pocket watch, and bolted into the night. The storm had rolled in from the Rockies unannounced, a whiteout that turned the familiar dirt road into a void. Headlights from the farmhouse faded like a dying star, leaving him alone with the gale's fury. He trudged toward the highway, 2 miles distant, but the snow blinded him, disorienting every landmark. His phone died in the cold, the screen cracking like his resolve. Frostbite nipped at his fingertips, and panic clawed up his throat. This is how it ends, he thought, not with a bang, but a whimper in the white. Memories flashed. Sunday suppers with laughter echoing off the walls, his mother's apple pie warm from the oven, Lila braiding wildflowers into his hair as kids. Now all that warmth was a lie exposed as conditional love. A distant rumble pierced the wind. Tires on ice? Ethan waved frantically, his voice lost, until a pickup swerved to a halt, its grill like a snarling beast in the headlights. The door flew open, and a gloved hand yanked him inside. "Jesus, kid, you're half frozen. What the hell are you doing out here?" The driver's voice was gravelly, laced with a Midwestern drawl that wrapped around Ethan like a blanket. The man was in his 30s, broad-shouldered with a scruffy beard framing sharp green eyes. His flannel shirt rolled to the elbows, revealing tattooed forearms inked with soaring eagles and barbed wire. "Name's Riley. Riley Kane. You got a death wish or just bad luck?" He cranked the heat, blasting warm air that stung Ethan's thawing skin. "Ethan," he managed, teeth chattering. "Family. Kicked me out. I'm gay. Storm caught me." Riley's jaw tightened, but not in judgment. Something fiercer, like shared scar tissue. "Yeah? Well, in this county that's a one-way ticket to hell, according to some. Lucky I was hauling hay bales from the co-op. My place is 10 minutes east. Crash there till this blows over." Ethan nodded, too exhausted to argue, as the truck plowed through drifts. Riley's cabin emerged from the whiteout like a mirage. A sturdy log structure with smoke curling from the chimney, porch light cutting a golden path. Inside, it smelled of pine and coffee, a far cry from the sterile piety of the farmhouse. Riley tossed him a towel and a mug of black brew. "Dry off. I'll heat some stew." As Ethan stripped his wet layers by the fire, vulnerability hit hard. Not just the cold, but the raw exposure of his truth. Riley busied himself in the kitchen, humming an old Johnny Cash tune, but his glances lingered, assessing, not appraising. "Grew up in a place like yours," Riley said finally, ladling venison into bowls. "Dad was a preacher. Mom prayed the gay away till she drank herself gone. I got out at 18, joined the Marines. Saw too much sand and blood to care what folks think anymore." Ethan sipped the stew, warmth spreading like tentative trust. "Marines? That's intense." Riley chuckled, a low rumble. "Kept me straight, figuratively. Came back here 5 years ago. Bought this spread with my discharge pay. Fix trucks, train horses. Quiet life." His eyes met Ethan's, holding steady. "You ain't alone in this storm, kid. Not tonight." They talked till the fire died low. Riley's stories of desert patrols and bar fights. Ethan's dreams of art school in Chicago. Sketches of lovers he'd never touched. Laughter cracked the ice between them. Fragile but real. When Ethan crashed on the couch, Riley draped a quilt over him, his hand brushing Ethan's shoulder. A spark neither acknowledged, but both felt. Dawn broke brittle and blue, the blizzard's fury spent. Ethan woke to pancakes sizzling. Riley at the stove in nothing but sweatpants. His back a map of faded scars. Storms passed. "You heading out?" The question hung heavy. Back home meant groveling, pretending. Forward? Unknown. "I don't know where to go." Riley flipped a flapjack casual as sunrise. "Got a spare room. Barn needs mucking, pays room and board. Till you figure it." Ethan's heart stuttered. Why help a stranger? Riley's gaze softened, vulnerability cracking his tough shell. "Because I've been that kid in the snow. And because..." He trailed off, plating the food. "You got fire in you, Ethan. Don't let 'em snuff it." Gratitude swelled, blooming into something unnamed. Ethan stayed. Weeks blurred into routine. Dawn chores in the crisp air. Riley teaching him to wrangle a skittish mare named Liberty. Evenings by the fire with takeout pizza and bootleg Netflix. Ethan's sketches filled a notebook. Riley's profile against the sunset, the curve of his calloused hands. Riley noticed, teasing gently. "Artist, huh? Draw me like one of your French boys." One night, under a canopy of stars unmarred by city light, they shared a six-pack on the porch. The beer loosened tongues, truths spilling like fireflies. "First guy I loved was my sergeant." Riley confessed, voice rough. "Lost him in Fallujah. Promised myself no more half measures after." His eyes searched Ethan's. "You?" "Jamie from the feed store. We kissed once, behind the silos. He freaked, called me a freak. Haven't seen him since." Ethan's voice cracked. "Thought I'd never." Riley's hand found his, rough thumb tracing knuckles. "Never what?" "Feel this." The air thickened, charged. Riley leaned in, slow as a summer storm, their lips meeting tentative, then fierce. It was salt and pine, hunger long denied, the world narrowing to heartbeat and breath. They pulled apart, foreheads touching, the kiss a bridge over chasms of fear. From there, love unfurled like spring thaw, lazy mornings tangled in sheets, Riley's laughter rumbling against Ethan's chest, whispered promises in the dark. Ethan bloomed under Riley's gaze, his art turning vivid with color. They drove to Omaha for a pride sticker for the truck, held hands in dive bars where no one blinked. For the first time, Ethan felt seen, whole. But shadows lingered. Lila's texts trickled in, apologies laced with pleas. "Dad's sorry. Come home. We can fix this." Ethan deleted them, but doubt gnawed. Riley sensed it, pulling him close one evening. "Family's blood, but it don't own you. Choose your tribe." Ethan chose Riley, chose this life. He enrolled in online classes, sketched logos for local businesses, even sold a painting at the county fair. Hope rooted deep. Then the call came, shattering the idol. Harlan's voice, gravel over glass. "Ethan, get home. Now, Lila's missing." Ethan's stomach plummeted as he gripped the phone. Riley's concerned eyes locking on him from across the kitchen. "Missing? What do you mean?" Harlan's breath rasped, heavy with unspoken accusations. "Vanished last night. Her car's by the river, keys in it. Cops are dragging the plat. You need to come. For her. For us. The line went dead, leaving Ethan adrift in a sea of static. Lila, his shadow, his confidant through scraped knees and stolen smokes. The girl who'd once dyed his hair blue for Halloween, who knew his secrets before he did. Guilt twisted like barbed wire. I gotta go, he told Riley, voice hollow. Riley nodded, jaw set. Not alone. I'll drive. The 2-hour haul to the farm was a gauntlet of tense silence. Nebraska's flatlands mocking Ethan's turmoil with their indifferent sprawl. Riley's hand on his knee anchored him, a silent vow. They arrived at dusk, the Harper place a hive of flashing lights and grim faces. Sheriff Tate, a barrel-chested relic with a mustache like a broom bristle, met them at the gate. Ethan, been a spell. Tate's eyes narrowed, appraising. Heard you shacked up east. Good timing you're back. Harlan loomed on the porch, Clara beside him, her face a mask of grief, rosary beads clicking like accusations. No hug, no welcome, just a curt nod. Inside, cops want statements. The kitchen table, once an altar of warmth, now held Lila's photo amid notepads and coffee rings. Tate flipped his pad. Lila left after supper, said she was meeting a friend at the diner. Never showed. Her Civics at Riverside Park, engine cold by midnight. You talked to her lately, son? Ethan swallowed, the room's eyes boring in. Texts. She wanted me home. Said Dad was sorry. Harlan grunted, avoiding his gaze. She worried about you. Always did. Clara's hand trembled as she touched the photo. My baby girl's out there, Ethan. Praying won't bring her back. Where were you last night? With Riley, Ethan said, gesturing to the man silent in the corner. At his place. We watched the game, crashed early. Tate jotted notes, his pen scratching like claws. Alibi then. Good. But folks saw you too. Close. Town talks ugly. Hope it ain't relevant. The implication hung venomous. Riley stiffened, but Ethan pressed on. Lila wouldn't just vanish. She loves this place. People change, Harlan muttered, eyes dark. Sins catch up. That night, Ethan bunked in his old room, the air stale with dust and regret. Riley took the couch, but sleep evaded them both. Something's off, Riley whispered in the hall, his breath warm on Ethan's neck. Your old man's hiding something. Dawn brought divers pulling Lila from the river. Alive, hypothermic, but breathing. Relief crashed over Ethan like a wave as he raced to the hospital in Lincoln. She lay pale in the bed, IVs snaking her arms, bruises blooming on her wrists like ugly flowers. Ethan, she croaked, tears spilling. I didn't. They think. Shoo, you're safe. He held her hand, Riley hovering protectively. The story tumbled out in fragments. An argument with Harlan over Ethan's lifestyle. Her defending him, storming out. A shadowy figure at the park, grabbed, dragged to the water. Fought him off. Swam. But Ethan, Dad's furious. Blames you. The pieces didn't fit. Why the river? Why now? Back at the farm, Tate pulled Ethan aside. Good news on Lila, but evidence points foul. Footprints in the mud size 10, like yours. And her necklace, the silver locket you gave her? Found it in your old room. Washed up with her. Ethan's blood iced. Impossible. I haven't touched that in years. Tate's eyes hardened. Lab says otherwise. Fibers match your jacket. And a witness, old Mrs. Grady from the Ridge, saw a truck like your buddy's near the park. Riley's F-150. Ethan's mind reeled. We were home. All night. GPS says otherwise. Tate pressed. Pinged near Riverside at 10:17 p.m. Care to explain? Betrayal hit like a sucker punch. Harlan stepped forward, voice steel. Told you, boy. Sins come home. You dragged this filth into our lives, and now Lila pays. Confess. Make it easy. Clara wept silently, but her eyes, cold, averted. Lila's texts replayed. Come home. We can fix this. Fix or trap. Ethan's world tilted. You did this. Planted it. To frame me. Harlan's laugh was bitter. Frame? You're the outsider now. Town knows what you are. Jealous lover. Scorned family. Fits neat. Riley exploded. Back off, you Bible-thumping hypocrite. We ain't playing your game. Tate cuffed Ethan's wrists, the metal biting cold. Ethan Harper, you're under arrest for attempted murder. Let's go. The cruiser ride was a blur of taillights and Riley's shouts fading. In the county lockup, the cell smelled of bleach and despair, the fluorescent buzz mocking his sketch's vibrant lies. Ethan curled on the bunk, the locket's weight phantom on his chest. They knew. Planned it. Lila's bruises. Harlan's hands? Clara's silence. Complicity born of shame? His one call went to Riley. Get me out. And find proof. I'll burn that farm down if I have to, Riley growled. Love a fierce undercurrent. Hold on, Ethan. For us. Bail hearing dawned gray. Riley posted his savings, eyes blazing as Ethan emerged, pale but unbroken. Drove all night. Hacked the truck's black box. GPS glitch. Farmhand tampered. And Mrs. Grady, half blind, swears it was a silver truck, not red like mine. They holed up at a roadside motel, plotting like fugitives. Ethan sketched timelines, his artist's eye spotting inconsistencies. The necklace's chain snapped wrong, fibers too pristine. They wanted me gone. For good. Riley pulled him close, lips brushing his temple. Then we fight. Together. The storm brewed anew, not snow, but scandal. Ethan confronted Lila in her hospital room, Riley standing guard. Tell me the truth. Was it Dad? She crumbled, sobs racking her frail frame. He cornered me at the park. Said you'd poison me against him. Grabbed me, shook me till I blacked out. Dropped me in the shallows. I woke sputtering, swam to the bank. The locket. He took it from my neck. Said he'd make you pay. Rage and sorrow warred in Ethan. Why not say? Fear. He's changing the will, cutting you out. Blaming you keeps the farm pure. Her eyes pleaded. I love you, Ethan. Always did. Forgive me? He did. In a flood of hugs and tears. The sibling bond fraying but not severed. Help us end this. With Lila's affidavit, they stormed the sheriff's office. Tate blustered, but forensics cracked. Harlan's boot prints matched the mud, his DNA on the locket's clasp. Clara confessed in a tear-streaked interview, her complicity a desperate bid to save the family name. Harlan's arrest made headlines. Farm patriarch accused in daughter's assault, son's framing. The town's pious facade crumbling like dry corn husks. Whispers turned to outrage. Neighbors who'd shunned Ethan now leaving pies on Riley's porch. The trial unfolded in the county courthouse like a slow-burning fuse, the oak-paneled room thick with humidity and hushed judgments. Summer had arrived in Nebraska, turning the plains into a sea of green waves under relentless sun. But inside, the air conditioned to a chill that mirrored the fracture in the Harper clan. Ethan sat in the gallery's front row, Riley's hand a steady anchor under the bench, their fingers interlaced in silent defiance. Across the aisle, Lila perched ramrod straight, her testimony notes clutched like a shield, Clara beside her, pale, diminished, her rosary now a talisman of regret rather than righteousness. Harlan Harper stood at the defense table, shackled but unbowed, his once imposing frame shrunken by orange jumpsuit and defeat. The charges piled high. Attempted murder, evidence tampering, assault. But the real trial was of the soul, the unraveling of a man's legacy built on repression, now exposed for all of Elmwood to see. Prosecutor Elena Vasquez, a sharp-eyed Latina from Omaha with a reputation for dismantling good old boys, opened with surgical precision. Ladies and gentlemen, Harlan Harper didn't just betray his children. He weaponized their love against them. Threw his son to the wolves for loving freely, then tried to drown his daughter to silence her defense of him. This isn't family. It's tyranny masked as piety. The jury, farmers, teachers, a mechanic with grease-stained hands, shifted uncomfortably, the weight of local lore pressing down. Elmwood thrived on secrets. The preacher's son with the bar tab, the mayor's affair. But this? A father's rage against his gay son, spilling into violence, cracked the town's veneer. Harlan's lawyer, a slick Lincoln import named Hargrove, countered with bluster. A grieving father, pushed to the brink by scandal. No intent, just desperation. He painted Harlan as victim. The farm's debts a noose, Ethan's lifestyle the final straw. Whispers rippled. City influences. Moral decay. Ethan's testimony came on day 3, the stand a spotlight scorching his skin. Vasquez guided him gently. "Mr. Harper, walk us through that night." His voice, steady as Riley's gaze from the seats, painted the blizzard's terror. The doors slam, the winds wail, Harlan's ultimatum echoing like scripture twisted. He said I was no son. That sin had no place under his roof. He described the survival, Riley's rescue, the fragile joy they'd built. Then the frame, the planted locket, the tampered GPS, Lila's bruises blooming like accusations. Hargrove cross-examined like a fox in the henhouse. "So, you harbor resentment, don't you? Left home for indiscretions. Perhaps you staged this for sympathy? A payout?" Ethan met his eyes, unflinching. "Resentment? Yeah. For a father who chose hate over heart. But I didn't hurt Lila. That's his poison, not mine." The courtroom hushed as Lila took the stand, her voice a fragile thread weaving truth. She recounted the park confrontation. Harlan's grip like iron, his slurred rage. "That boy's turning you queer too. I'll end it before he ruins us." The dunk in the river, cold shock stealing breath, her desperate swim. "I covered for him at first. Family loyalty. But Ethan's my brother. Blood don't excuse this." Clara's testimony shattered the room. Called as a hostile witness, she trembled under oath, her Midwestern reserve cracking. "I knew. Saw the bruises, the locket in Harlan's pocket. Told myself it was for the farm, for God. But watching my children break." Sobs choked her. "I failed them. Beg forgiveness, if they'll give it." Harlan's turn was a spectacle of denial, his voice booming off the walls. "I love my kids. That boy Ethan chose his path. I protected the family name." Lila exaggerated. "She fell, that's all." But cracks showed. Sweat beading on his brow, eyes darting to the jury's impassive faces. Riley, subpoenaed as character witness, strode up with marine poise. "Met Ethan in that storm, half dead, but fighting. He's got more grace in his pinky than most folks' spines. And me? I'm the filth they whisper about. But love like ours? It's the best damn thing in this broken world." His words landed like haymakers, humanizing the abstract, turning judgment to empathy. The jury deliberated 2 days, the town holding its breath amid picnics and prayer vigils. Ethan and Riley retreated to the cabin, the air heavy with what-ifs. They walked Liberty through wildflower fields, her hooves whispering over earth renewed. "Whatever happens," Riley said, pulling Ethan into a hammock sway, "we rebuild. You, me, maybe a dog named Blizzard." Ethan laughed, the sound foreign but freeing. "And art. Galleries in Chicago, your horses in the yard." Their kiss deepened, a reaffirmation amid uncertainty. Passion tempered by tenderness, bodies speaking what words couldn't. Verdict day dawned thunderous, clouds boiling like unspoken fears. The jury forewoman, a wiry widow with calloused hands, read the charges. Guilty on all counts. Harlan's face crumpled, not in rage, but hollow defeat. Sentencing loomed, 15 to 20, whispers said. Outside, reporters swarmed, but Ethan slipped away with Riley, Lila trailing. At the farm, now hers by default, she faced them on the porch. "Sold the equipment. Starting over. You want shares?" Ethan shook his head. "Keep it, but visit. Sundays. Pie and no preaching." Clara approached last, eyes downcast. "Ethan, I was wrong. Pride blinded me. Can a mother earn back her boy?" He searched her face, seeing the woman who'd bandaged his falls, sung lullabies. Forgiveness wasn't absolution. It was release. Start with truth. And time. She nodded, tears carving fresh paths. I will. As they drove east, the radio crooned Springsteen, Thunder Road, an anthem of escape. Riley glanced over. Proud of you. Ethan smiled, the road unspooling like possibility. Us. Always us. But peace was fleeting. Months later, autumn leaves turning the plains to fire. A letter arrived. Paralyzed. Anonymous. You think it's over? Blood runs deep. Enclosed. A photo of Riley's truck, slashed tires in the Elmwood lot. Vandalism? Or warning? Paranoia crept in. Harlan's allies, church deacons, old hunting buddies, glared at the feed store. Whispers followed. Queers got what they deserved. Ethan doubled locks, Riley taught him to shoot. Love hardened into vigilance, their idol laced with edge. One crisp night, as frost kissed the windows, Ethan dreamed of the blizzard. Endless white, Harlan's shadow looming. He woke gasping, Riley's arms a bulwark. It's him. From inside. Riley nodded grim. We'll end it. For good. They hired a PI, a grizzled vet named Kowalski who owed Riley from Kandahar. Diggs unearthed Harlan's prison letters, rants to sympathizers, coded pleas for justice. One name surfaced, Cousin Dale, the family lawyer, who'd misplaced files during trial. Confrontation brewed at the annual harvest fair, amid cotton candy and Ferris wheel lights. Dale sidled up, beer-foamed mustache twitching. Heard about the tires. Shame. Ethan's blood boiled. Cut the crap. Harlan's pulling strings. Dale smirked. Family sticks together. You ain't. Riley stepped forward, voice low thunder. Tell your boss. Game's over. Or we go public. Every letter, every threat. The smirk faded. Bluff. But it wasn't. Kowalski's dossier hit inboxes. Dale's visits to Harlan, cash transfers masked as loans. Blackmail flipped, resignations, apologies. The poison drained, leaving scars but space to heal. Winter returned, softer this time. No rage, just quiet snow blanketing the world. Ethan's first gallery show in Omaha drew crowds, his paintings, blizzards yielding to rainbows, selling out. Riley proposed under the cabin's Christmas lights, a simple band etched with eagles. Marry me? Make this forever. Yes? Ethan breathed, snowflakes melting on their lashes. Lila walked him down the aisle in spring. Clara in the pews, her smile tentative but real. Vows echoed in a sunlit chapel. In storms and sun, I choose you. Years wove their tapestry, threads of joy and ache intertwining like roots in Nebraska soil. Ethan and Riley's cabin grew into a home. Additions funded by Ethan's rising art career. A studio where canvases captured the raw poetry of the plains. Lovers silhouetted against thunderheads, families fractured yet mending. They adopted a rescue mutt, Blizzard, whose boundless energy mirrored their own resilience. Pride flags fluttered from the porch, a quiet declaration amid Elmwood's slow thaw. Lila thrived on the farm, converting acres to community gardens that fed the food bank, her laughter a balm over old wounds. She married a soft-spoken teacher named Theo, their wedding a harvest bash with fiddles and fireflies. Ethan stood as best man, toasting, to roots that bend but don't break. Clara attended, her presence a work in progress. Weekly calls evolving from stilted to stories of grandkids imagined. Regrets aired like laundry in the sun. Harlan, paroled after 8 for good behavior, emerged a ghost of himself, grayed, gaunt, eyes hollowed by confinement's grind. He wrote first, a letter smudged with prison ink. Son, I was the storm. Forgive if you can. Ethan burned it initially, ashes scattering on the wind. But Riley urged mercy. Hate's a chain. Cut it. Reunion happened on a bench by the Platte, autumn leaves drifting like confetti. Harlan arrived in ill-fitting civvies, hands twisting a frayed cap. Ethan, Riley, thank you for coming. No embrace, just space, Ethan's walls high, but cracking. Why now? Harlan's voice cracked, weathered as fence wire. Prison strips you bare. Saw my sins plain, no God excusing that. Hurt you worst. Lila too. Clara. She left me. Said I broke us all. He met Ethan's eyes. Raw. Proud of you, boy. The man you are. Wish I'd seen it sooner. Words hung, heavy as harvest moons. Ethan searched for lies, found only regret's husk. It don't erase the blizzard. Or the river. No. But I can try amends. Harlan offered a check. Farm proceeds. Clean. For your life. Not mine. Ethan tore it, pieces fluttering into the current. Keep it. Buy back what you can. A beat. Then come to dinner. Riley's ribs. Harlan nodded, tears carving dust tracks. I'd like that. Healing wasn't linear. Awkward silences at the table. Harlan's Bible gathering dust. Stories skirting scars. But seeds took him watching Blizzard chase squirrels, chuckling at Ethan's tales of gallery snobs. One evening, as snow dusted anew, Harlan confessed over coffee. Prayed wrong all those years. Thought love was rules. Yours with Riley? That's the real grace. Ethan's throat tightened. Took me dying in a storm to find it. Harlan reached, hesitant. I'm sorry. For the throw. For everything. The hug came then, bone creaking, a dam breaking. Forgiveness flowed, not forgetting, but freeing. Clara returned. Tentative bridges rebuilt over potlucks and park walks. Elmwood changed too. Ripples from the trial stirring undercurrents. The church installed a rainbow banner for youth group. Pastor Ellis citing Lila's gardens as parable. Jamie from the feed store apologized over beers. His own closet cracked open. You were brave, man. Wish I'd been. Ethan's art became local legend. Murals on the co-op walls. Books of sketches in library stacks. He mentored queer kids from Lincoln, their eyes wide with possibility. Storms pass, he'd say. Find your Riley. Riley, ever the rock, expanded the ranch, therapy horses for vets, his marine scars badges of survival. Their love deepened, weathered but vibrant. Anniversaries with stargazing and slow dances, arguments over burnt toast dissolving into laughter. You're my horizon, Riley murmured one dawn, tracing Ethan's jaw. And you're the pull, Ethan replied, heart full. Tragedy struck softly, as it does. Harlan's heart gave out mid-plow, a quiet exit under spring skies. At the graveside, Ethan scattered wildflowers, Lila's hand in his. He tried, she whispered. He did. Clara leaned on Theo, her rosary now a necklace shared with grandnieces. The farm passed to Lila, but Ethan claimed a plot. Planted an orchard, apples ripening red as redemption. Wedding vows renewed under its boughs. Friends toasting with cider. To love that endures. Decades later, gray threading their hair, Ethan and Riley sat porch swings creaking. Blizzard's successor snoring at their feet. Sunsets painted the plains gold. A lifetime's canvas. Worth the blizzard? Riley asked, voice gravel soft. Ethan smiled, lines etching stories. Every flake led here. In the end, the storm wasn't destruction but genesis. A boy's exile birthed a man's truth. A love unyielding as prairie wind. And in America's heartland, where blizzards rage and families falter, grace whispers. Love wins, not with fanfare, but with the quiet strength of those who choose it anyway. Humanity's arc bends toward light, one forgiven frost at a time.